Beautiful animals indeed. That story from Jim Bitterman.
And it is time now to name the Maritimer of the Year. We've been waiting for this, of course, throughout 1994. Over the past few weeks, we received dozens of nominations.
And yesterday, we narrowed the list down to 3 candidates and opened our phone lines. Here now are the results of our Live at 5 Maritimer of the Year telephone poll.
And as you can see, the voting was very close indeed. Randy and Janet Connors, AIDS activists, received 45.4% of the vote. We've just rounded it off to 45. Tom McPherson of Glace Bay, the harness racing owner who was involved in a charitable act helping out a young 12-year-old boy get a mechanized wheelchair. Very close. A lot of calls late today. 43.4% for Mr. McPherson. And Jean-Marie Nadeau, whose concept of a World Acadian Congress was realized this summer, a huge success, 11.1%. If you add up those fractions, it comes out to 100%. And so, it is Randy and Janet Connors, our Maritimers of the Year. And here's what a couple of the nominators had to say. Mr. and Mrs. Michael DeVoe of Digby County wrote of the late Mr. Connors, his efforts to ensure the safety of our blood system were very courageous and selfless. He'll be remembered as a hero to all of us.
And Ron Keogh of Sydney wrote, Randy and Janet's involvement in AIDS awareness has, in all likelihood, saved lives while mobilizing people who otherwise might have stayed on the sidelines. And joining us now is Janet Connors. Delighted to have you here, Janet.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was your reaction when you first heard about being nominated? I know it wasn't until late last night.
No, actually someone that we'd met at the hospital some time ago called last night to congratulate me for us that we had been nominated. It was the first I heard. Was the furthest thing from my mind, and you could have knocked me over. I was just really, really surprised by it.
Well, a lot of Maritimers spoke up on our telephone line. You have not stopped, really. I mean, it was obviously a very difficult year. You lost Randy in the summertime, but you just haven't missed a beat. You're involved. Tell us a little bit about all of the organizations that you're working with.
Well, I'm speaking in a lot of schools. I think I've probably been in about 15 or 20 schools since September, and I'm doing some work with Irondale Theatre Group, which is a group that goes around and does theater work in schools about AIDS awareness through AIDS Nova Scotia. I'm still involved with the Coalition and Women in AIDS and the National Women in AIDS Project. So.
And you were telling me earlier that there's a large meeting here in Nova Scotia this month, right?
Yes, the Provincial Women in AIDS Project, myself included, we're hosting the National Women in AIDS annual meeting. We're getting ready to plan the second phase of the Canadian strategy for women in AIDS in Canada, so I'm really excited about that.
Janet, I'm curious about your reaction to this. Ron Keogh of Sydney wrote, as I said, that your involvement in the AIDS awareness movement has probably mobilized a lot of people who otherwise might have stayed on the sidelines. Do you get that impression from talking to people? Do a lot of people tell you, hey, we got involved only because we've seen what you have done?
It's not so much that people say that as we see it, people getting involved. When I've done volunteer orientations or when Randy and I did them, people would say that they realized through seeing what we had accomplished that they could do the work and not have to be afraid or not be worried that they were going to be ostracized, whether they're HIV positive or not, that people just are a lot more accepting and understanding now.
How does that make you feel to have had such an impact?
It makes me feel like we did a pretty good job. And I mean, it makes me, in an odd way, it does make me happy. You know, I have a lot of friends that still are struggling with disclosing to family and friends and neighbors, and I think maybe it'll be just a little bit easier for them.
How are you, Janet?
I'm okay. I'm tired. I'm avoiding going back to the doctor, but you know, I'm doing okay.
Well, look, congratulations again on
Thanks,
Maritimer
Paul.
of the Year. We really appreciate you coming in and always being very kind in dealing with the media. And I know you've been the center of a lot of attention over the last couple of years. And we really appreciate your candor and your willingness to help out. And congratulations again.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And when we return, Canada's newest world champions. Watches on TV as they secure the gold medal. The celebration, Live at 5 returns. And welcome back to Live at 5 as the Live Eye takes a look over the Halifax skyline as it is dark. But you know, as somebody pointed this out the other day, that's an obvious point, but it's still reassuring. The days will be getting longer. In fact, they are getting longer.
Well, I don't know if I believe
over
that.
The cusp.
It's still pretty dark in the morning when you wake up. I said that to my husband
and
this morning.
February and March. Oh, let's talk about happier things, shall we? I don't know why we got onto that. Let's talk about hockey.
Spring, okay.
The good old Canadian game, even though the NHL guys are out on strike, of course, there's plenty of hockey for people to get their minds into here in the region, the AHL and the juniors, and then we have the World Junior team, the Canadian team playing out in Alberta at home, and isn't it about time they had the World Juniors here in Canada? They've won for the 3rd year in a row, and the funny thing is that they didn't really have to play a championship game as such. They played a game against Sweden and then watched another team come back and hand the gold medal to them. Let's go to Red Deer, Alberta, and Steve Hogle has the rest of the story for us.
3 goals, but now I don't think of my goal. I think about the gold medal. It's incredible.
Eric Daze is typical of the players on Canada's gold medal winning team. The sniper from Quebec found himself on the team's checking line for the game against the Russians. Daze accepted his new role and then went out and scored 3 goals.
You got to respect those guys. Those guys make this team work. And I mean, as soon as you start realizing that everyone on this team contributed for every win, you know, that's when you start realizing that this is a winning team.
They can leave their egos at the door and come in. You know, they've done everything we've asked of them, and I'm very, very proud of these guys.
Daze and discipline made the difference. The Canadians kept their cool throughout the tournament. The usually composed Russian Bear lost it. Alexandra Korolak got booted out of the game, and Canada scored 3 times on the 5-minute power play.
In front of the net, they score! O'Neill!
It's great. It's better than last time, I think. You know, it's always better when it's the second time, and especially in Canada, our own country, and everybody expects us to win. Well, each year, you know, the World Junior, everybody expects Canada to win, but this year's was more with all those guys who came back from NHL Pro Camp and were supposed to start the season, so that point of view, that was lots of pressure, but that was good pressure.
These players say it's not just a team victory, but a victory for each and every individual on this club. One player went so far to say it was also a win for the couch potatoes of Canada.
When you're playing for your country, you don't do anything for yourself. I mean, everything's got to be done for your teammates, your family, you know, everyone else who's sitting at home with a bag of chips and a Coke in hand. I mean, you know, you're doing it for those guys more than anyone.
Our gold medal winners will try to complete the tournament with a perfect record by beating the Swedes in the final game Wednesday night.
Gee,
yeah, those bag of chips were good, too.
Did they look excited to you?
Yeah, pretty darn excited. 3 in a row for Canada, and
like it.
as Steve Hogle mentioned there, the game tomorrow is meaningless unless you throw in, you know, respect and honor and all of those other things that don't count in the standings.
So you say it's meaningless.
Yeah, so, yeah, and I guess they've never gone undefeated in a tournament, so this is actually the mark we're aiming for now.
All right.
So that'll be a big game tomorrow, and anyway, the gold medal is ours.
And on another sports note, it was an exciting day today for Native youngsters from the Afton and Pictou Landing Micmac Reserves. The kids got a chance to practice with the 1993 CIAU men's basketball champion, St. X-Men. For many of the youngsters, it was a chance to learn firsthand from their heroes.
Most of these boys started out with just the basketball rim on a what do you call it?
In a parking lot or something?
No, at our house behind our shed.
There is no word yet on what prospects Coach Steve Konchalski may have spotted during the clinic. We'll keep you posted on that. And boy, that gym looks familiar to me.
Yeah, a couple of quick sports notes before we move on to the bagpipes. We're in a hurry to get to that, I know, but I just want to mention that the Nebraska Cornhuskers are the #1 U.S. team now, on college football and on hockey. They're still talking, but low-level talks, whatever that means. And, of course, the January 16th deadline is looming.
Now, I'm going to make a very controversial statement in this region, I know. It's been likened to the sound of stepping on a cat's tail. And I'm sure it wasn't a Maritimer who said that. But the strange and magical sound of the bagpipes is calling people from all over the world to Prince Edward Island's College of Piping.
Yeah, the big demand for bagpipe lessons has sprung, at least in part, from a recent front-page story in the Wall Street Journal with doctors, lawyers, and accountants all signing up for lessons next summer. Our own Danny Boivio has the story tonight.
Hauntingly beautiful or screechingly terrible. We either love the pipes or we hate them. But even though the chanter, that's the flute-like part that makes the melody, has only 9 notes, mastering the Scottish Highland bagpipes isn't easy.
Basically, when you start off teaching someone, they would begin on a practice chanter, which would be a smaller version of this. It would have the same fingering, and it was just its mouth blown without the bag. From there, they would learn the technique, they would practice their execution, and they would learn their tunes and the different notes and grace notes, etc. From there, they would progress on to practice chanter plus a bag, which would be a lot easier to blow. It would be without the drones. Give the harmonics to the chanter. You would tune your drones to the chanter, a single-bladed reed, just one constant humming.
Now, I've always found the bagpipes to be magnificent, almost inspirational, but I can tell you that just holding the instrument is intimidating, let alone trying to play it. But a front-page article in the Wall Street Journal has certainly boosted the popularity of Summerside's College of Piping. Doctors, lawyers, and accountants are signing up for lessons from as far away as New Zealand and Paris.
Indianapolis, Indiana, McLean, Virginia. This one's from Arlington, Virginia. We have doctors, numerous doctors. We're actually being featured in this month's publication of the Medical Post, which was out to about 43,000 people across Canada.
Gregor Spears, Ian's brother, came from Scotland to study advanced piping. 8-year-old Brian Labchuk, who's just learning, says he likes the pipes, but he's not sure why.
Does it sound like you think it should yet, or do you think...
Yeah, it sounds like it should.
What do your friends think?
Well, they don't really think much of it. Hardly ever broadcast it anyways.
So, while it may not impress your friends, if you have pipe dreams, this is apparently the place to make them come true. At the College of Piping in Summerside, Dan Veal, ATV News.
Thank you, Dan. We'll have to catch up with them this summer. And coming up next, film critics may not have been thrilled by the 1994 box office offerings, but audiences across the continent were, to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars.
Sure were. We're going to take a look back at the best of the year when we return.
New Jersey?
Austria.
Austria? Well then, good day.
When a young man was suddenly faced with schizophrenia, first he suffered, then he fought back. The remarkable story of how one man turned his personal struggle into an inspirational achievement. That's later tonight on the CTV News.
The glorious freshness of mint. Nobody knows it better than Polident. And now there's twice the mint in every Polident tablet to leave your dentures feeling gloriously clean and fresh. Get super strength Polident with twice the mint.
We're back with the rest of the double Big Mac and double Quarter Pounder with cheese. Now with double the number of 100% all beef patties. So bring twice the appetite and a very hungry friend.
At McDonald's today.
Excel's unique cooling sensation freshens your breath a long time. Don't just freshen your breath, accelerate it with long-lasting Excel sugar-free gum.
Fruit in light syrup or pear juice, clean peaches in halves or slices, golden apricots, Bartlett pears, Austral. You can almost taste the sunshine. Brought to your favorite grocery store by Creighton's Limited. Austral Fruit Cocktail, a pleasing dessert or a tasty snack, on its own or in a recipe. Austral Fruit Cocktail in light syrup or pear juice, a favorite in Atlantic Canada for over 60 years. Brought to you by Creighton's Limited.
Substations supplying electricity to homes or industries could be located near your neighborhood. They are essential for supplying electrical service, but they contain high-voltage electricity and can be dangerous. Snow or material piled against the substation fence makes access easy and tempting for young children. Substations are not playgrounds, so please, play it safe and stay away.
A safety message from NB Power.
Go for it, guys.
Welcome back to Live at 5. Luke and Eric Yale were playing a little touch football in Moncton Centennial Park today. Football may be out of season now, but that didn't spoil their fun today.
Yeah, Steve Weagle will be along shortly with a blast of weather for us. But right now, let's talk about movies. You know, hundreds of them were released in 1994. But when the dollars are added up at year's end, only a handful of films are remembered. Now, Pam Thompson tonight tells us which movies ended up on top in '94, including a tight race for the #1 spot.
What's my destiny, Mom?
You're going to have to figure that out for yourself.
Forrest's destiny was success, but the degree of the movie's success is the surprise of 1994. The movie was a favorite among critics and audiences alike, taking in just under $300 million for the year.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Forrest Gump now ranks as #4 on the list of top box office earners ever. The Lion King anxiously waited in the wings to be crowned box office champ, but finished the year just short of the top spot.
Hakuna Matata.
What?
Hakuna Matata. It means no worries.
Still, Disney's latest animated classic earned a hefty $292 million. 9 films broke the magical $100 million mark for the year. In all, studios earned more in 1994 than ever before, a record total of $5.4 billion. And the breakout star of 1994?
Yes, yes!
Jim Carrey. The comedian scored a hat trick at the box office this year. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective was a surprise hit, earning $72 million. Then came The Mask, which unquestionably transformed Carrey into a star and earned $117 million to boot.
Somebody stop me!
He's apparently unstoppable. The just-released Dumb and Dumber is off to a smart start. He'll have trouble topping himself in 1995.
You love me.
Yeah, we like you. We like you. Here's Steve Weagle with the wake-up weather for us. Steve?
Increasing cloud and cold, guys.
Gee, he's concise, isn't he?
He is. Here's what's on ATV Prime Time tonight. It's Full House Sandwiching Coach at 7, then at 8, Me and the Boys, Home Improvement at 8:30, Rescue 911 at 9, followed by Comedy, Roseanne at 10, John Larroquette at 10:30, and at 11, W5.
We're concise, too. Thanks for joining us. The news continues now with Steve Murphy. Steve.
All right, thank you, Nancy. Tonight, history in flames as fire destroys a maritime landmark.
Is this like a landmark in Halifax? Oh, it's been here as long as I have.
Mom on trial. Did a mother murder her infant daughter?
We have approximately 35 witnesses, police, civilian, and medical, as well as a number of experts to call.
And security beef up. Abortion clinics in the Maritimes take no chances.
I don't think that we have the same kind of political climate here as they do in the States. It doesn't seem to be quite so hysterical.
Now, from the #1 news team in Atlantic Canada, the ATV Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Steve Murphy. Fire has claimed a landmark in Halifax. The Look Ho Ho restaurant on Bayers Road has been serving